Midtown High takes Stark Industries by TheThirdChild. Chapter 1. The tour begins. The yellow school bus rumbled down the street as the students of Midtown High buzzed with chatter and excitement. Peter Parker, however, sat slouched in his seat, trying his best to sink into the fabric and disappear. His head was bowed, his face burning with embarrassment, and his hands fidgeting in his lap. "Parker, I'm warning you," Mr. Harrington's voice echoed from the front of the bus as he twisted to glare in Peter's direction. "If I catch you telling anyone that ridiculous story about working at Stark Industries, there will be consequences. Midtown High will not be humiliated today." Peter groaned, covering his face with his hand. "Mr. Harrington, I mean it," Mr. Harrington interrupted, his voice higher pitched than usual. "We're lucky Stark Industries approved this trip. Let's not push it, all right?" Peter sank deeper into his seat as the entire bus erupted into snickers. Flash Thompson, sitting across the aisle, leaned over with a smirk. "Don't worry, Parker. Everyone knows you don't actually work there. I mean, you can barely keep up in class. No way you're smart enough to work for Stark." Ned, sitting beside Peter, turned to him and whispered, "Do you not think he's going to explode when he finds out you're not lying?" "Hopefully not in the Iron Man suit room," Peter muttered under his breath, earning a stifled laugh from Ned. From the seat behind them, MJ chimed in, her tone dry as usual. "Honestly, Peter, you should have leaned into it. Next time, tell people you're running the place. CEO Parker has a nice ring to it." "Not helping, MJ," Peter grumbled. She shrugged. "Just saying, if you're going to get yelled at, might as well make it worth it." When the bus finally pulled into the parking lot of Stark Industries, the gleaming building loomed above them like a monument to everything Peter was desperately trying to hide. As the students filed off the bus, they craned their necks, taking in the massive glass facade and the sleek, futuristic designs. "Whoa," Abe said, stepping off the bus with wide eyes. "This place is insane. Do you think Tony Stark's actually here?" "Course not," Flash scoffed. "Guys like Stark don't hang around giving tours. The most we'll see is some scientist nerds and a bunch of holograms." As the students gathered near the main entrance, Mr. Harrington stood at the front of the group, clipboard in hand, looking uncharacteristically nervous. "All right, everyone," he began, clapping hands for attention. "We're here as guests of Stark Industries. That means no touching anything, no wandering off, and absolutely no causing a scene. And for the last time, Peter," he paused to fix Peter with a pointed glare, "do not embarrass us with your creative storytelling." Peter opened his mouth to respond, but before he could, Flash chimed in. "Yeah, Parker, let's not ruin it for the rest of us. We're here to learn about real science, not whatever imaginary job you have." "I told you, Flash," Peter snapped, his patience wearing thin. "I actually do—" "Save it, Parker," Flash interrupted, laughing. "You probably got it confused because you delivered pizza here once." The group filed into the lobby of Stark Industries, a gleaming space filled with holographic displays, futuristic art installations, and employees bustling around with purpose. The students gawked at their surroundings, some pulling out their phones to snap pictures. "Whoa," Cindy said, spinning around to take it all in. "This is insane. I can't believe we're actually here." "All right, let's get moving," Mr. Harrington said, leading the group toward the visitor centre. "Stick together, everyone." As the group moved through the lobby, Peter tried to stay inconspicuous, but it didn't take long for his worst fears to come true. "Parker!" called a voice from the reception desk. Peter froze mid-step, his stomach dropping. It was Donna, one of the receptionists he worked with during his shifts. She waved enthusiastically, a warm smile on her face. "Back already? I thought you had the day off." The entire group stopped in their tracks, turning to stare at Peter. Peter stammered, giving Donna a weak wave. Yeah, just, field trip. Donna raised an eyebrow, clearly confused. Wait, you're on the tour? Why, you work here? She laughed lightly, shaking her head. Oh, Parker, you're too much. Flash turned to Peter, his eyes narrowing. What'd you do? Pay her to say that? No way you work here. Flash, Peter started, but Mr. Harrington cut him off. Remember, we are guests here at Stark Industries. That means no wandering off, no touching anything, and absolutely no making things up. I'm not making things up, Peter protested, his voice rising in frustration. Enough, Mr. Harrington said, his voice cracking. You've already pushed your luck with that ridiculous story. Just keep quiet and don't embarrass us any further. Peter sighed, running a hand through his hair as the group continued on, Flash still hassling under his breath. MJ, walking behind him, leaned in with a smirk. So how's it feel to be an unsung hero and a pathological liar? She asked. Peter groaned. This is going to be a long day. Donna tapped her stylus against her tablet absent-mindedly as she sat up at her desk in the Stark Industries lobby. It was shaping up to be another normal day. Well, as normal as it could get when you worked here at the nerve centre of the world's most advanced tech company. Between checking visitor logs and directing deliveries, she kept an eye on the security feed, noting the arrival of a bright yellow school bus pulling up at the entrance. Field trip, she muttered to herself with a small smile. She loved seeing the look of awe on kids' faces when they stepped into the building. It reminded her of how magical this place could be. Her smile widened when she spotted a familiar face hopping off the bus. Peter Parker, she said softly, her tone fond. The kid was a walking brain trust with a heart of gold. Everyone at Stark Industries loved him, not just for his work ethic, but for his kindness and humility. But her smile quickly faded as she noticed something odd. Peter hung back from the rest of the group, clearly trying to keep a low profile. The students around him were laughing and chatting, but Peter didn't look like he was part of the conversation. In fact, he looked downright miserable. Donna tilted her head, her sharp eyes narrowing as she focused on the scene unfolding just outside the glass doors. All right, class, the teacher, Mr. Harrington, she assumed, said as he stepped inside the building, clipboard in hand. He turned to face the group, his tone a mix of nervousness and excitement. Remember, we are guests here at Stark Industries. That means no wandering off, no touching anything, and absolutely no making things up. Donna frowned. Making things up? What was that supposed to mean? I'm not making anything up. Enough. She watched as Mr. Harrington's gaze zeroed in on Peter, who was lingering near the back of the group. The teacher's expression twisted into a look of mild exasperation. Peter, he said in a tone that was both warning and weary, I'm going to say this one more time. Please do not embarrass the school with your, stories about working here. Donna's jaw dropped slightly. Stories? What was this guy talking about? Flash Thompson, a stocky kid with a smug grin, laughed loudly. Yeah, Parker, try not to tell Tony Stark you're his favourite or whatever. Oh wait, you already did that, didn't you? I didn't, Peter began, but Flash cut him off with a dramatic bow. Oh, Mr. Stark, it's me, Peter Parker, your totally real intern, Flash crowed, drawing laughter from several of the students. Donna's eyebrows shot up as she saw Peter visibly shrink under the barrage of laughter. Another girl, this one with a dry expression and a book tucked under her arm, muttered something that made Flash scowl. Donna couldn't hear the words, but the dynamic was painfully clear. Peter wasn't just the odd one out. He was the punchline. Donna's grip tightened on her tablet as she watched the group enter the building, Peter trailing behind like a kid who'd just been scolded in front of the whole class. Her heart sank. This wasn't the Peter Parker she knew. The Peter she worked with was confident, well, mostly, and brilliant, but right now he looked like he was ready to bolt. Donna glanced around the lobby, her protective instincts kicking in. Stark Industries wasn't just a workplace, it was a family. And Peter? Peter was the kid. Everyone in the building looked out for him. If these kids and their teacher were going to give him a hard time, Donna knew exactly how to handle it. With a few quick taps on her tablet, she opened the Stark Industries internal messaging thread, a casual group chat that employees used to share updates, funny stories, and occasionally warnings about people to keep an eye on. The thread's pinned name was, of course, SI Loves Peter, an affectionate in-joke that Peter himself was completely unaware of. Donna typed quickly. Donna M, reception. Hey, heads up, Peter just walked in with a school group, and they're being super dismissive of him. His teacher straight up told him not to make up stories about working here. Like, what? He looked stressed. Just thought you all should know. The replies came almost immediately. Priya K, robotics. What? They think he's lying about working here. Are these kids blind? Eric J, AI. Oh no, someone get Friday on this. No way we're letting anyone talk down to Peter. Danny L, tech. Sounds like it's time for some strategic interruptions. Let's make sure they know exactly how important Parker is around here. Donna smiled to herself as more messages flooded in. She didn't have to ask twice. Peter's co-workers were already plotting to drop by and casually remind his classmates exactly where Peter stood in the hierarchy of Stark Industries. As she hit send on one final message, she glanced up to see Peter awkwardly entering the lobby with his class. Don't worry, kid, she muttered under her breath. We've got your back. Donna M, reception. Also, someone tell Stark. He'll want to deal with this personally. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this chapter. Have a lovely rest of your day.